Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper, and on this channel here we are talking about skincare, and as you see me here is just as if you saw me on the high street. I'm not using any sort of a filter on this channel here. So what you see here is actually how I look in real life. So today we are going to talk a little bit about a sunscreen. We are going to talk about apparently a new sunscreen from the company Garnier, so from Ambre Solaire. So this one here, and that is an SPF of 30, and they promise that you will get a sort of a glow when you are using this product here. And that's actually an interesting thing to say, because I think that most people will notice that usually when you're using a sort of a sunscreen, particularly in the face, then it will make you glow rather a lot, or shall we just say shine, because what is the difference between a glow and a shine? I'm not quite sure, but I have of course tried this product here, and we will try it on my face later and have a little chat about how this thing is actually performing. So this one here, it says it has a watermelon in it. It says here, and a vitamin E, and I thought when I tried it on that I would get some sort of a smell of a fresh sort of a smell of summer and stuff like that, like a watermelon, but it turned out it did not smell like a watermelon whatsoever, really. And I would say, and I've noticed that other people have said that online as well, that immediately when you try this on, you're just thinking this doesn't smell really nice at all, and after a little while it seems to be like you get this sort of a perfume scent. So yes, this product here is scented, it is a perfume, there is a fragrance in it, and that is obviously not good if you don't stand fragrances and have an allergic reaction to this sort of stuff here. And this one here, I would say the perfume, usually as you could expect from Ambre Solaire, so from Garnier, is that it's a strong scent. I would say it is something that when you have washed your arm, I just tried it on my arm earlier, after washing it, it still lingers, and it is a sort of a little bit of a heavy scent, I would say. It's not something that I'm saying like I need a lot more of that because I really want to smell like that. Really, I don't want to smell like that at all, really. So this one here, it is, as you can see, it is a little bit tricky because it has two phases in here. And what that means is that it is rather liquidy. So you need to give it rather a shake. And it is supposed to be sprayed on your face, or in the sense that, can you spray this stuff here directly onto your face? No, you cannot. You can use the spray nozzle here. When you open it, you have to open it like that. And then you can use that on your body, but you are not supposed to spray directly onto your face. And I've seen some people talking about that they are using it over makeup, but if you are doing that by using this sort of spray here, definitely you need to close your eyes. I mean, obviously you can figure out that yourself, but really this is not something that you should get into your eyes. So have I tried it on my eyelids and around my eye area and stuff like that? Yes, I have, because I have tried this stuff here on my face earlier in order to see if it would be sort of annoying my eyes. And immediately when I just put it on, it was kind of like not immediately any sort of a difference. But then I did a little bit of a workout, and I was starting to sweat and stuff like that. And I just put it on one eye. So I put it on this eye here, and I did not put anything on the other eye, or the eyelid. And what happened was that this eye here simply just started to weep rather a lot, and it was annoying my eyes constantly. And I was just thinking, now I need to take this stuff off. And I would say the ingredients in here, so the filters, they are the usual filters that you find in a sunscreen, and that is a homosalate, it is ethyl and all those sort of things. That is octrocrylene in it as well, and that is something that usually will annoy your eyes. So this is a sort of a mix between modern filters and some of these old-fashioned filters. There is, of course, just a little thing to say about one of these filters that I have here, and that is a homosalate, because it is actually so that the Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety that is in the EU, they have looked at homosalate. And why have they done that? Because there is a little thing about homosalate and also ethyl and that is that they are derivatives of salicylic acid. And salicylic acid, that has, at least in Denmark by the Danish University, DTU, they have proved that that is actually a hormone disruptor, at least in animal studies. So that is one of the reasons that the EU have been looking at these things here. And they have come up and found out that actually normally when you're using Homo Salad, it will be in a concentration maybe up to about 10%. And when you look in a product like this, I don't know the percentage of this, but up here you can see that it's at the top of the ingredients list. And that normally means that there is a lot of the stuff in it. And the thing is that in the EU, then it has now been looked at, and they have found out that actually it is only safe, in their opinion, up to about 0.5%. And I would think that is rather a lot less than what is in a lot of sunscreens out there. So that is maybe something to look into, that if you are buying a sunscreen, that maybe at least Homo Salad is something that you should maybe think, I don't really want that. Another thing is also that I know it is very popular to use salicylic acid on the face, and what that basically also means, and they are talking a little bit about that as well in the EU, and that is that if you are using salicylic acid on a daily basis, and you're also using something like this on a daily basis, yes, you guessed it, you get a lot of salicylic acid on your face, or at least you get some derivatives and maybe salicylic acid as well if you're using a product with that in it. And so that is maybe something that you should look a little out for. So this one here, as I said before, it needs to be shaken up, so it needs to be kind of like really, the thing is that you have this pump, so if you just don't do anything, you will have a sort of a watery face at the bottom, where there most likely will not be any sort of filters in it, because usually those filters, they are oily, so they will be in the oily face at the top. So now I have shaken it, you can't really see, but if you just use this, then you just get the watery face here, and then you have the oily face up here. And that means that in the beginning, when you're using this stuff here, it might be feel really nice, really sink in really well and all that sort of thing. But when you come to the oily face, that will be the part that is then left if you always never shake it up, and then you will be really greasy in your face. So this one here, there is of course that little problem that it's not really that convenient that it is a spray, because it's good for your body. But if you're looking at your face, which is also a part of your body, but if you look at your face, then we need to have this measure here out. Again, I know it is really annoying, I know that. But there is a 1 milliliter in here, and what I need is actually 1.25 milliliter, kind of like for a face like mine. So the thing is that we will have to... I can't really make a top of this one here, because this stuff here is so liquidy. So let's just see how this stuff goes. Also, to begin with, what I will get up first is what is actually in the long thing in there. So that might just be the watery face. So I don't want it in my eyes. Let's see if we can make this stuff actually work. Voila. Wow. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oopsie daisy. 9, 10, 11, sort of 12. I mean, this stuff here just like drips all over. So this really is not convenient for your face. So we just kind of like take what is and see how that goes. I would say that in here it might be kind of like half of the amount that I need. So I just put it on one side of the face. So, whoops, like that. Then on we go. Ew. It does not have an instantly nice smell. It actually has a sort of a smell of, I think some say alcohol, but I'm not quite sure what sort of alcohol that would be. It has sort of a bit of a strange smell, but as you go along, it will sort of start to smell a bit more like a heavy sort of a scent, and it will sort of like linger. I would say this is the sort of scent that you normally are getting when you buy this stuff from Ambre Solaire. So now we are trying to work this stuff in here, and as you can see, it doesn't give any sort of a white cast, but your hands are really sort of oily. So I just put this stuff on, and then I went to train a little bit, and that meant that I was holding my hands onto something and then taking my legs up and stuff like that, and it was really difficult to hold on to this sort of training thing. So this, I would say, is really oily to begin with, and I really have no idea how much is on my hand and how much did actually go on my face. So I would say this sort of a product is something where it is a little bit difficult to actually find out what did you actually put on, how much did you actually put on, and it's really oily. Now today, I would say normally when I test sunscreens, it is not this sort of a format. And that means that it's more like a sort of a cream thing. And then I don't put any sort of a day cream underneath. But this stuff here, I would say this is not something I would use as a day cream and a sun filter all in one. So I added a day cream underneath my normal one. So that means that this is maybe a little bit more tricky to sink in. And yes, it just kind of like stay sort of oily. But when I use it on my arm earlier, we can just do that. There's just one thing, and that is that your hand is really, really oily. So if you're using this stuff here on the beach, it is really difficult to hold on to this thing here. So just put a bit on. I would say we just smear it on. It feels oily to begin with, but after a little while, it starts actually to sink in and get, it kind of becomes a bit like a satin silky sort of like, but it takes a little while. And we say when you think now it has sort of like sunk in, then maybe after something like a half an hour later, then it is actually sinking even further in. So in that sense, it didn't feel greasy. But it is of course only an SPF of 30, so you might not have expected it to be really, really greasy like an SPF of 50, for example. So I would say this sort of sinks in well, and it does give this sort of non-greasy sort of feel compared to that you're actually talking about a sunscreen, which is usually very, very sort of greasy. So for that, I would say it works sort of well, but at the same time, they are saying that you have a UVA of 3 stars. So it says on the back here, you can't see it, but it has this sort of logo from Boots, and that means that they have given it 3 stars, but you can get up to 5 stars, and that means that UVA protection is sort of like similar to the SPF, so the UVB protection. So in this instance here, you only get a protection that is 3 stars worth, compared to that you could actually for some products have 5 stars. But then they say underneath that small sign, they say good. So I am thinking that Ambre Solaire, so Garnier, they want us to think that 3 stars UVA, that is good. So what is 5 stars then? Extremely good, or what? I mean, I would say something like 3 stars when you're looking at UVA protection. I think that you should rather go for something that has 4 to 5 stars protection. I would say that is a lot better if you really want to do something with UVA. But of course, it means that you need to have an SPF that is at least 30 or 50, because if you obviously have a very low SPF, then it doesn't really matter if you have 5 stars UVA protection, because it would only be sort of equal to the SPF. So if you don't have an SPF of 5, then it doesn't really matter that you're having 5 stars on that product, because still it will not be a very good protection. So that is just one thing to think about when you're looking at the stars. So just to say that if you have an SPF of 30 and it has 5 stars, and you maybe have an SPF of 50 and also have 5 stars, then obviously the one that is an SPF of 50 will protect you a little bit better for UVA, because it has 5 stars. But still, the difference between SPF 30 and SPF 50 is not that great, so it kind of like doesn't really matter. But it's more like if you're down to maybe an SPF of 15 or maybe lower, if you can actually get something like that. So this one here, I would say it is a little bit difficult to use, and I can already feel that it starts to annoy my eye. It's not kind of like my eye is not starting to run, but I can feel that this sort of it's not burning, but it's more like it just simply starts to annoy my eye, and it will just get worse and worse. So I would say within a half an hour, something like that, your eyes will most likely be really, really irritated. But also they say that you should sort of keep it away from your eyes, really. So this one here, is it meant for the face? No, it's not meant for the face as such. It's just an all over sort of a thing. You can use it on your face, you can use it on your body, but I would say when you look at the sort of greasiness, I would say there may actually be sunscreens that are worse. I mean, it's not as bad as you could expect when you sort of shake it up very well. Oops, daisy. So there you go. It is a really sort of a slippery, this thing here, and that might be a really annoying thing when you are on the beach, because if you drop this thing here into the sand, it will be completely covered in sand. Really terrible. Anyway, my eye is now starting to be really annoyed, and it starts to, maybe you can see, it starts to be really sort of wet. The eye is working full on in order to get this stuff away, because it really starts to annoy my eye now. And yes, I look forward to get this stuff off again. And is this then something I would buy again? Obviously not. I am not going to buy this sort of stuff again. So yes, that was my verdict on this stuff here. Will it give you a sort of a glow? Yes, it will give you some sort of glow, but I think that most sunscreens will do that. So yes, I'm not going to buy this again. So if you'd like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell, and do all the things you must do in order to be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.